Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life. Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life. Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.
Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome. I'm Hollis Taylor, the founder and manager for Psychic Insights. So I'm here just kind of managing and also training another tech support for people because it's very hard to actually keep track of all of the text messages from you guys on all the different platforms because we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on a bunch of different Facebook pages and groups. So it tends to be on a lot of different places at the same time, which can be a lot. It can be overwhelming for the medium, right? And so I would rather them just focus on the readings. Hey, so welcome everyone. This is Jamie. Jamie, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Jamie Brown. I read under the name Jamie Angel. I'm a medium who's had giftings in mediumship and empath giftings since childhood. And one of the forms of mediumship that I have really been blessed to have, though sometimes it can be a bit confusing, is it infiltrating some of my artwork and such. So many times when I do paintings, you will find figures and faces within those paintings. And over the past week, there were a couple of people that came through during the reading last week. There was one specific one that has just been persistent. And so I've been actually working with drawing some of these people. And I had one yesterday into today where I had a bit of a odd glitch that I realized was actually spirits that were connected, reaching out together. And so I will probably be sharing some of that with you. I did put them in the group things, but not sure if everybody saw them or not, or if the right people saw it to know this is my particular loved one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I'm glad everyone's connecting. I think Jamie usually does the style of just bringing through spirits and seeing who it matches with, which is a little bit different than the way Mama Cole does it, but it is how also Sarah Redcrow does it, and I do it, and how some famous mediums do it that way. And so I just want to say hello. We want to give a shout out to everybody saying hello right now, like Sophie, hey from the UK. And hello to Jasmine Walker from New Zealand, huh? Yeah, it's on my bucket list. Sharon said, I really appreciate you doing this. I'm really hoping for a reading. I have a lot of trauma related to how my mother's final arrangements were handled. I need to know if she has any messages for me. Well, Sharon, I'm sure. I also want to say that in my experience as a medium, if your mother was often embarrassed by family drama, if that's is the trauma related to your mother's final arrangements, if that has anything to do with family drama, I'm just going to say that that might be better handled in a private reading, because spirits won't come through if they'd rather not have their private information broadcasted to hundreds of people, which is what we're doing right now. Okay? And some spirits are fine. They'll bring through a message or two, but they won't bring through details or things around things that would embarrass you or their family or their name. Okay? So I'm just going to say. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Wendy from Arizona. Welcome. Sharon. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Melissa. And Debbie is hoping to hear from her son. Hi, Amy and Gricely. And hi, Sharon. Yeah, you're welcome. 30 years experience. That's what I've learned. Okay. And I'm sure there's some other people over in the group. I know that Julia Wilkes from New Zealand is there. Aren't you also here in the page as well? Okay. And so I just want to encourage you all to be present, to listen to Jamie, and to speak up. So if something is matching, you have to say something, or Jamie's just gonna maybe move on to the next spirit or something like that. So, and don't always expect it to be your son, for instance. It could be let's say your grandfather who happens to be with your son. Okay. So be open to it being someone else's, some other spirit that maybe you didn't think would come through, or you just didn't even think of that. So be open, stay open. The best way to get a reading is to stay open. The best way to get the best messages is to validate when things match, or if they don't, say they don't. But please say yes or no. That's more helpful. Not saying anything is kind of like, I don't know. And we just kind of do our best at guessing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give the stage to Jamie. And Jamie, I wish you the blessings of all. I think maybe we want to speak our intentions, maybe pray our intentions,
Yes.
and go forward. Go ahead.
I think I'll start with the simple I am one. That worked well last week. Basically, allowing ourselves to exist in this moment. So it's very simple. You say I and breathe in, and then you exhale on the am. And then as we get near to the end, we will add a specific intention to that will follow the same flow pattern of breath. I am. I am. I am. As you do this, you can feel the oxygen start getting into your bloodstream better, and that will help to elevate your spirits and help to connect more with that which is around us. I am. I am. I am. I am open and listening. I am open and listening. I am open and listening. Can you feel the presence of our loved ones? We, at this point, are thankful for the protections and the beautiful energy surrounding us. And we are inviting them to come on in and visit with us. We look forward to hearing from them. They look forward to communicating with us. Now, that one little girl with what I would classify as dirty blonde hair, where it's kind of that on the precipice between that blonde and brown hair. I had seen her with a bicycle and I had seen her with a jump rope, and it's been persistent enough throughout the past week since first showing up at the reading that I did decide to do a drawing of her. If this child resonates with you at all, please let me know. My guesstimate of age would probably be around that 6, maybe 7-ish. Could be as young as 5 or as old as 10. Kind of petite. I don't know if that resonates with anybody or not. You're muted, Hollis.
Sorry. Sorry, I just wanted to ask a question. It usually I'm bouncing for some reason. Is it possible that that the spirit may have passed at an older age and is just resonating with that being their favorite time of their life? Is that possible?
Yes, and it's also possible that it could be someone who would be at that age now, but who passed as a baby or a young child. I have seen that happen before, so. I see Amy Oliver Gaspar. Your daughter was 7 years old when she passed. It could be your child. Um, was her hair color like that kind of that color that would be right in between that brown, that blonde and brown zone? Particularly when the sun would shine on it. Okay. This was the best I could do picture wise. I don't know how much that might resemble or not your daughter, but did she by chance have a blue bike? Okay. And was she into jumping rope? Okay. Is it possible that there was a bike that would have been a sibling's bike or something that would have been blue? Okay. Because I had seen her beside a blue bike, but not riding it. But the jump rope, I saw her actually in motion. Okay, that makes sense then. And I noticed when I was drawing her, I felt very strongly about there being a flower on her shirt, and I don't know if that means anything to you or not, but this particular shirt that I was seeing had a flower on it with the, that whole, like I have here with the various petals and that with the center type of thing there. It may have significance. It may have just been the way that she was showing up at the time. So basically, things that I'm really getting from her is a sense of very much happiness and contentment. Okay, that would make sense then as to why she gave me that specific image. Do you have like a sidewalk or pathway with that are more stone slab pieces rather than like a concrete sidewalk, or maybe somebody whose house she frequented would have that? Okay. Well, I don't know if you've seen any signs near there, but the vision that I had of her that was really standing out, perhaps you can see here, is her like jumping rope right in front of this pathway. So she definitely wants you to know that it's been seen and appreciated. She is there with you and she loves you very much.
Well, that's such a beautiful reading. Well done, Jamie. I know that you had been thinking a lot about her since last week when you brought her through and no one sort of owned her or fessed up. And so I'm glad you were here this time, Amy. I'm glad that you caught the message. It sounds like your daughter wanted you to know that she's with you. It's very sweet, huh? Yeah. So I'm so glad. And Amy, you should go check out the artwork. You can see a better image of it in the group, in the mediums group, which I'm sure you're in. Um, so Glenda really liked it too. And Amy says thank you. So Jamie, I think you can move along at your own pace.
I have a question. Has anybody lost both an adult loved one and an infant loved one? Because I had someone come through this morning, and it was one of those things where I started sketching in pen, and I thought I was on on a separate piece of paper, but it turned out to be on the back of one that I had done of an infant that was an angel baby. And that particular image ended up bleeding through in a very profound way. This is the sketch of the adult person. I don't know if this looks like anybody amongst your loved ones. If it does, please let me know. But they seem to be possibly with an infant angel child. I'm not sure how well you can see the sketch now or not. But it's very ethereal in a lot of ways, because it's almost as if two people looking through the ether back and forth kind of thing. And so it's possible that it's somebody that is in here. It's possible it's not. But with them having come through today, I did want to ask and see if this resonates with anyone. If so, please put it into the chat. Greisley? I get the feeling that the adult is either a parent or grandparent to the child lost.
That's exactly right, Jamie, because we just found this message from Sandy Figueroa in the mediums group that said, my father and I lost a baby in utero. So I don't know exactly what she means by that. Oh my gosh.
Lost her father and lost a baby in utero. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. Like I was wondering if the father also lost a baby, like,
That's
when he was alive.
Too.
I don't know. I'm not sure. So,
but yeah, but my sense is that the adult is caring for that wee bundle, and that wee baby angel is not alone. Greisley, I also do feel other ones as well. Yeah, there is definitely, I'm definitely feeling a number of them. They seem to like all kind of be piggybacking on each other now. And this is a time when a lot of healing can take place. We're in a Mercury retrograde. One of the things that happens with that, especially because we're also in a Chiron retrograde. Chiron is the wounded healer. And that wounded healer is a time for helping us to heal from past traumas. And for those of us who have lost young ones, that's a major trauma that we carry with us. And while it may never heal 100% over time, having that connection, that spiritual connection, can help to heal our broken hearts and at least give us the ability to move forward and to be able to connect better with our loved ones on the other side. And knowing that grandmothers and grandfathers are taking care of our wee ones, it helps because we know that they're not alone, because that's the last thing we would want is for our babies to be feeling alone. But also know that they're here watching over us. And it may sound weird because generally ancestors we think of as people who are older than us, but our babies join the cloud of ancestors, and they know things just like the adults would. And sometimes when I see babies, I'll see them as infants. Sometimes I see them I'll see them as children at an age that they would be now. So it is important that you know that your little ones may not just stay little babies flying around, but may also spend time growing and enjoying their lives on the plane of existence that they're in. And sometimes they will peek in on you when you least expect it. And sometimes you might even feel like they're playing some games of peekaboo with you. But they're there for you and love you so very much.
Well done, Jamie. Well done. That was beautiful. That was beautiful to see that. And I just loved exactly what she said, what Sandy said, that right before she came on, that she came through and told me they're both my angels. So I just thought that was beautiful, that she kind of had a heads up beforehand and then it came through that way. So I just think that's beautiful. Well done, Jamie.
Grace Lee, would your little one be maybe about 3-ish by now?
$23. Wow.
Okay. I'm not sure who the little, there might be somebody else yet. Then I'm seeing a little one around 3 years old that I get the sense left either in utero or very, very soon, like a stillbirth type of thing. And they have a granny that's taking care of them. And so I thought that might be your one. It's possible that it's retroflective back to when the young one would have been younger. Okay. That 3 to 5 range. I'm not great with guessing ages, but that 3 to 5 range, that makes sense. Yeah. Your little one is being taken good care of and is definitely checking in on you. Are you in the process of a move or anything? I seem to see some sort of a move or a transition or something like something changing. It looked like it was with a house or something, so that's why I was wondering. or possibly somebody related, maybe maybe a relative who passed or something and dealing with a house situation with that or something. I don't know. It just caught this house that seems to be in transition. It's also possible that somebody else is piggybacking on that. I'm not sure. They're coming through now.
I actually think it might be Sandy. Her message is coming just a second here. She was also saying, sorry. She was also saying, I saw, wait a minute. It keeps, I saw an orb of light to my bedroom once. Can you ask her if it was my baby Julia? She shows herself as a child to me. I think that's her grandmother. Oh, her baby. She comes to me as 3 years old.
Yeah.
She shows herself as a child and it could have something to do with like a past life or something, Sandy. You know, like maybe there was something with a past life or who knows.
Yeah, the 3-year-old, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's what Sandy's saying. It
Yeah.
matches with her in that way.
Mhm.
So she comes to me as 3 and she said, I believe she's referring to her baby.
Mhm.
And she shows herself as a child.
Mhm.
So even though she lost the baby in utero, I think the child still comes through. And that could have something to do with a past life or something. And she asked about, I saw an orb of light come to my bedroom. Can you ask her if that was my baby Julia?
Yes, I believe that was, because oftentimes with infant ones that transitioned from in utero, I oftentimes tend to see them almost as wisps at first. Sometimes where they're energies that are able to float freely.
Did you
And
see what I just did, Lacrosse? I copied all that stuff that Sandy Figueroa was saying. Sorry, Eve.
So when I oftentimes when I see little ones around one, they may sometimes manifest as infants or as children. Sometimes I just pick up on the energy of them, and they may be kind of a whisper and orb at first. And that, so yes, that would be. She was visiting you.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Jamie, I knew another medium that used to do painting. So instead of doing 1 hour long readings for people, she would do a painting and their spirits would appear in the painting for them. Just saying. And so instead of paying for, so people would get regular readings from her too, I think, but then I think they would pay separately for a painting and she would paint whatever and then send it to them. And I just thought it was that's an interesting way to do mediumship.
Yes, and many times when I do paintings, I have lots of faces and figures that appear in my paintings. And one thing with my paintings is oftentimes they're such that no matter what direction you turn them, they may have different images on them from different angles. But that's oftentimes the way it is for me in that. So, but people and spirits definitely come through in my paintings many times. I think I'm picking up on a teen boy. I would say probably about 16. is starting to come through. And Sandy, yes, that makes sense because your young one was interacting with her sibling quite naturally. I don't know if the 16-year-old boy resonates with anyone specifically. I get that age range. He seems to have brown hair. I would say slightly ruddy complexion, a little bit of rosiness to the cheeks, but not real rosy. And slightly more, what I would classify as a more elongated face rather than like a more round face, if that makes any sense. Okay. I get a lot of gentleness from him. Can I ask a very weird question? Did he ever have? I'm seeing those slinky glasses, and I don't know if those were his or something, but I just got a glimpse of a pair of slinky glasses. And he's definitely trying to keep in touch with you and touch base with you. Are you near a point of a birthday or a lost date? Okay. Yeah. I get the sense that he was a kid who liked to have fun and had a quirky sense of humor sometimes. Oh, that makes sense. He wants you to know that he's still there for you. And one of the best ways he can do that is to show up and make sure she has a happy birthday as much as possible by letting you know how much he loves you.
And I think just for accessible, we should try to read the messages that we're putting up. So what, in case you missed it, Tammy said it's his sister's birthday today. That Tammy confirmed that he had those glasses when he was little. And he came through a couple of days ago with Sarah. And those are the messages that we're putting up at the bottom of the screen for some of you that may or may not be able to see that. And his sister's birthday was today. And Tammy said, we're struggling today. So maybe just read them out loud,
Okay.
Tammy. Yeah.
Did he and his sister have some sort of a joke about a certain type of cake? I almost want to say something with like gummy worms on a cake. Almost like the old mud pie type of thing where you do the Oreos and stuff and then you put the gummy worms or something. Does that make any sense? Said very funny and sarcastic. Do you have a dog? Because I feel like there's that like you say something about the dog. The dog can take his part, which obviously, if it's a it obviously if it's a chocolate cake, you can't do that. But if it's a vanilla cake, then yeah. Yeah. But
So
he's there.
Tammy said, I'm not sure they were each other's people. And this is our year of first without him. He passed in May of 24. But I think she's also validating that he definitely had those when he was small too. And it sounds like they had a golden retriever and a bull mastiff.
Well, I just really feel like he wants you to know that you are loved and he's not left you. He's still there for you and wants sister to have a happy birthday and to have her what wishes she makes come true for her to have a happy life. And if she finds any boys that don't treat her nice, he will have a kick to the keister of them. And let me tell you, I have seen times where ghosts have pulled pranks on human people, and you don't want to tick off somebody who cares about a loved one on this side, because they will make sure that justice is served. Yes. Yeah, he was like, the dogs can have my part. I'm hoping they just have a vanilla cake then in that case, but dogs crying on his bed. Yeah, they miss him too. Don't ever think that animals don't understand those things, because they do. I'm getting another male in that same age range. This lad, I would, based on appearance, I would say probably some variety of Spanish, possibly. My sense, yeah, that pranking her for her around her birthday, but
I think what Jamie is answering is the question on the board that you may or may not be able to see that says that Tammy said a container fell off her counter yesterday. Was that him? And Jamie is confirming yes.
Yeah, pretty sure so.
Did you guys hear what I said? Did I read it out loud?
Yes.
I did.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that is correct. that he was sending a hey there. In case you don't think I'm around here. Yeah. Yeah, the person I'm picking up on now, like I say, I would guess to be about same age bracket, that 16-ish, possibly as young as 14 or as old as 18, but I think around that 16 point, with the with a, I would classify as a mid-tone complexion. He seems to be the type that probably was a little bit more, carried himself toughly, but also had a real marshmallow side at times. This particular person, I seem to see him with a bandana in that, around the head. I'm not sure if it resonates with anybody specifically, but like I say, this lad would probably be around 16, could be a little bit younger or a little bit older. Like I say, I think he was Spanish. And I would think that this person definitely seems to have a bit of a, whomever it is that he is reaching out to. This one was not real muscular from what I'm seeing. I would describe him more as some muscles, but kind of a thin build. More arm muscles than leg muscles, but in that, but not ultra muscular. Deanna Miner had said, my neck was tough, but had a soft side. He was 18 and very muscular. Yeah, I'm not sure if the one I'm seeing is him, but I think I may be picking up him also. Did yours play basketball? Okay. There's another one that's taller, more muscular. I seem to see with a basketball. Okay. So that may or may not be one of the ones that I'm picking up then. I feel like there's a lot of young male energy coming through at once right now. But the one that I picked up first seems to be, like I said, a slender build. I'm wanting to say black bandana. It seems to have another color to it, like a white or a gray, but I can't tell for sure. And he seems to be Spanish. It's like I definitely seem to get the mi amor and that word from my love. So I don't know if that resonates with anybody specifically, but Dina, I am trying to see if I do feel your one specifically. Was his team by chance have a red and white type of uniform? As Dina had said that no, he played football. So I'm trying to see if that is another person that I had picked up on or not, because there is one, it's something of a red and white uniform, and more broader build, I would say, as far as the shouldery thing. Of course, okay. Yes, I'm picking him up too. Did he leave through a car accident? I seem to feel like something of an impact type of situation. You said yes to the uniform? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. And yes, he did have leave by way of car accident. He is there for you. And I get the sense that you have felt him a few times when you've been crying. It's like I literally seem to see like as if somebody's wiping your tears away. Quite possibly one of those times where you're starting to get into that sleep zone, and and that when you're starting to wake up or go to sleep, and you suddenly feel a slight thing and whatnot, is what I seem to be seeing. So yes, absolutely, I get tons of signs from him. Good. He wants to be sure that you know he loves you and he's still there for you. But I seem to hear, but I'm not going to take out the garbage. I don't know if that resonates as some kind of thing that he either had an ongoing joke about or something of a struggle type of thing, but I seem to hear that very clearly. So thank you. I love you. I love him. Love and miss him so much. He knows he can't really miss you because he's there with you still. So misses being able to have you see him, but he's still there with you. So it's a little different when they're able to still come and hang out. as the more that you're able to tap into that and to pick up those signs, the more you're able to interact and to have more of that relationship that you already had built with them over the years. So, LOL, yes.
I think that was to the trash comment.
Okay, yes. Okay. I'm still not sure who's the Spanish young lad is. Like I say, he's a bit thinner. Well, I believe, Deanna, as you're saying about, wishing you could see him, but working on it, I do know that Hollis does do coaching and stuff for mediumship, so that might be something to consider to help you to connect visually. I don't know if anybody has commented concerning the one young Spanish lad. If not, I will.
I think the Spanish guy it kind of came up a little bit ago, and her message came up a little bit later. We're getting it over to you now. Sandy Figueroa said, "My father died and he only spoke Spanish." So,
Okay.
Sandy, does this Spanish man match with you otherwise, other than that he spoke Spanish? What were the other things you said, Jamie?
He was a thin, died seemed to be around the picture I am seeing of him, which I don't know when he died, but I'm seeing this person at like age, I would say around 16, kind of a thin build in that, has some arm muscles in that, but is a very slight build. Seemed to carry himself kind of tough, but also has a much more soft and gentle side when in private, type of thing. I see him with a black and white rolled bandana around his forehead. Yeah, I seem to hear Mia Moore, so my love, but
I'm not sure if she stopped listening, so I messaged her to ask if it was. Yeah, it might be like the baby might have to come in the next day.
Yeah. The other person that is also in that teen guy range that I'm seeing is taller with a basketball. His complexion is such that I can't really tell you what race, because it's kind of that, I would say a little bit darker than medium tone, but lighter than the darkest of tones. But it's kind of such that he could be a number of different races, and could be a blend of races, type of thing. I would say probably not Caucasian, though, or not white anyway. Tina Nevaez, can someone who died early 30s come through as a teen? Sometimes, yes. Yes, sometimes, especially like if that was the time in their life that they were happiest, or that they felt they looked their best, or what have you, can come through that way. especially if, say, there was a lot of life that was more traumatic between their favorite time and when they passed. They, and that, like, say, issues where there would be addiction or health issues where they might not feel they looked as well, then it might not be, it might often happen where they might show themselves as they prefer to remember themselves, or would prefer others to remember them. The person with the basketball, like I say, he's a bit taller. He's got a little bit of muscularness without being like what I would classify as a football type thing. So, and that, but it's what that one. I feel like that one had something with the heart.
Sometimes I think, Jamie, the best way to like navigate through these moments where you're like waiting for someone to answer is to just keep going, move on to a different spirit, see if, and then if the person comes back, you can just go back to that spirit, and just ask them to sort of like put them on hold or ask them if they have more information. I find that that's the most effective way to deal with these moments.
I seem to be picking up on a couple that she seems to have blonde hair. His hair seems to be more on the brown side. I get the sense that they were in a motor vehicle accident together. I don't know if that resonates with anybody or not, but that's what I'm seeing. Oh, yes. Animals can see spirits. Michelle Brown had asked, "Can animals tell when their owner is around? My brother's cats just stare at the door. He passed in February 24." Yeah, animals do see spirits. Some are more sensitive to it than others, but they can see spirits, and they oftentimes will indicate when they're seeing something like that. They will take it, sometimes dogs will just bark at nothing or be staring at nothing, or cats do the same thing. And if you're sitting there going, there's nothing there, what is it? There's a good chance that there's some sort of a spirit visitor or something that the dog or cat can see that you can't see with your eyes. I don't know if that couple resonated with anybody. Tina said, Spanish teen sounded a bit familiar, so thought I'd ask for future knowledge. That's fine. One thing that, oh, the cat hid for first month. He was gone. Now she's out more. Yeah, it's a trauma for animals when their loved ones die, and of course, for animals, they depend on their loved one for everything. So it can be really scary for them.
Absolutely, Jamie. Well, you know what, Jamie? It's been an hour. What a fast hour that was. And I just want to encourage everyone to, if you'd like a private reading with Jamie, you can easily book one. And Jamie's going to go. I think Jamie has a Zoom event that you're planning next week, right, Jamie?
Yep.
I think I have it written down here, the 15th at 7:30 your time, right?
Yes.
So that's 7:30 Eastern time. So I'm hoping that a lot of you will show up for that because Jamie will be doing more of what they're doing right now. So I encourage you to book your private reading with, you can book a private with Jamie. And I'm just going to say that, all readers are completely unique. And the thing is that Jamie is very unique, I would say, not only because they have a strong Uranus placement, but also because of their experience in life. Okay. And so, as a result of their experience in life, I think that because they do struggle with hearing and things like that, that it gives them a different sort of, like we were talking about this morning in the chat, Jamie. And so I just don't know how much you want to share about that, but that resonance comes through. And I think what Mama Cole was saying, that you kind of resonate on a different level because of those challenges in your life.
I have profound hearing loss, so I'm considered deaf. And so for me, when it comes to listening to music, I'm not able to pick it up audibly, but I can use my hands. And if you've ever held a balloon while being in a place where there's music playing, or held a red Solo cup or any of those kind of things, or paper plates, you will, if you pay attention to it and you hold it very lightly, you can use your fingertips to feel the rhythms and vibrations of the music. And so that's how deaf listen to music, is by hand. And I've often joked, one hand mono, two hand stereo, put your feet on two, you got surround sound. And thing is, with my artwork, I have found that if I take and I put a cell phone or something against me, so I'm feeling the vibration while painting, I can, go get into the flow of it and see what appears. Because with my artwork, many times I've found that I can decide I'm going to try and draw this or paint this, and it comes out like crap if I'm just trying to do something. But if I allow the energies to flow through and let the art decide what it wants to become, that's when the spiritual flow happens, and things that's like, I don't know how to do that, but I did that. So, type of thing happens. And so a lot of times for me, the artistic mediumship has become a very interesting aspect to my mediumship. I have had times where I first found out about that aspect when I went ahead and I had sketched a musician who had passed the previous year. And I had friends who actually knew him. I didn't know him personally, but I did that, and I ended up with a visitation. I was like, oh, hello. And it got a bit of a laugh. And what's interesting is, you can say, oh, yeah, that was just your imagination. But when I was in a group reading with Mama Cole, I'm expecting my grandma or somebody else that's, part of my family to come through. And she starts describing somebody, maybe an uncle or something like that. She couldn't, tell who it was per se, but this guy, and I'm like totally lost. And then she used the phrase, um, what was it? Keep being groovy, or keep rocking groovy, or something like that. This phrase that with rock music, and I was like, oh, that's so and so. I never met them in life, but they visited after when I did the artwork and that. And so it really was a confirmation that, yeah, that was who it was, and that, because I actually sent her a picture after that of who it was, and she's like, oh yeah, that was him. Yep, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
I think it's awesome that you do some of your artwork with your feet. Because, I don't know if other people have ever thought about their feet. Some people just take them for granted, but, your feet are like the souls that are connected to the earth. And I think the fact that you paint with them sometimes, I think is also an interesting way of sort of channeling or seeing what comes through. And I just think because of your physical experience in life, where your legs and arms aren't working as everybody else or most people's does, I think that gives you a different perspective. And I think that some people miss that because they just, and I know that people that have special needs or that are disabled don't like to come out and say, hey, I'm deaf, or I live in a wheelchair, or whatever. But at the same time, I think when people realize that, they're like, oh, so they have a different experience. And I think some people, at least more sensitive people, are probably going to think that you probably have a different perspective as a result of your life experience. And I think it's just, I witnessed it in my father, who was blind, and he had a different experience of life. He had a different experience when he met people. He didn't judge them the way we all judge people. And I think because of your experience, of the way that your hands and feet don't quite work the way everyone else's, or that your ears, you hear things differently. I think that they end up being guided by the light. They guided by the divine. And I think that that's special. I think it's different. And I think people should be aware of it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of those things of, when it comes to painting, I use what's working that day. I think part of that helps us to connect into the universe on a larger scale, because what's working one day may not be what's working another day, and so having to have that flexibility and to work with whatever energy is flowing, because sometimes, like mediumship energy, there's a lot of different elements to that flow. And so sometimes you may be guided in one direction or in one modality, and other times it may be another modality or direction. And so having the flexibility and grace to say, okay, I'm open to receive, and I'm willing to be the channel for this. Show me where it's supposed to go today, and see how it happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I just am, fascinated by your experience, and I encourage you to share it as much as you're willing. And so anyway, we're going to close up for today, and on the 15th at 7:30, Jamie will be doing a Zoom where it'll be a little bit more intimate, hopefully a little bit more smooth, where you won't have to wait for comments, because then they can just answer you on video like I'm answering you out. Sometimes doing it in the comments slows down the process a little bit, but hopefully you guys will meet us in Zoom, or meet them in Zoom, on the 15th at 7:30 Eastern time. So once I post the event later on today, make sure you look at it from your perspective, in case you're not on the East Coast of the United States or Canada, because, then it'll have your time. It should post the time in your time zone, although Facebook is quirky. So you might want to just check it. It will be at 7:30 Eastern time. Okay. All right, my friends. Have a fantastic evening. You have anything else you want to say, Jamie?
No, have a blessed week and hope to see you next week.
All right. All right. And good night.
Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.